What's going on, guys? This is John, and today I have this really special deck profile that I want to share with you guys. And this is the ExoSister deck profile. This deck runs like any other ExoSister decks you see on YouTube or even MasterDuel. You're gonna be focusing on special summoning your ExoSister Mechalice, the Kepeter, and Magnifica, your main boss monsters from the Exo deck. There's gonna be a few tweaks in this build. For example, we're gonna be running one Evil Swarm Excision Knight, the Babushka, and the Repletion from the Primamath or the MathMech engine. We're not gonna be running MathMech here. I did try to see if I can combine them. It didn't do well for me. So I just stick into what we know, the ExoSister decks. I'm gonna begin real quick and I'm gonna show you the cards that I'm running. So we're gonna begin with the staples: triple Blackbird, triple Maxis, triple Ash Blossom. We're gonna be running the Spirit Aratama and the Sakitama support. These two cards here will help you normal summon in addition to your normal summon, and you can go for your ranks Xyz monsters. So we're gonna be running 3 Aratama. For the ExoSister engine, we're gonna be running the ExoSister Ellie. She's a must here. You gotta run 3. We're gonna be running 3 ExoSister Stella. She is your normal summon of the deck, and she also has the ability of helping you special summon a additional ExoSister from the hand. We're gonna be running 1 ExoSister Arene, 1 ExoSister Sophia, and the main boss of the deck, 3 copies of the ExoSister Martha. She is the main card of the deck, and she's the one that will help you special summon your ExoSister Alice, so you can rank into Xyz. We're gonna be running the second spirit, 3 copies of Sakitama. This card right here will he has the ability of showing itself from your hand to so you can reveal it, so you can have an extra normal summon. For support, we're gonna be running 2-dimensional shifter. This card is a key card to so you can win with the ExoSisters. You banish and during your opponent's turn or your turn, and you might win the duel if your opponent's deck needs the graveyard. We're gonna be running 1 copy of Carpendiven. Okay, so this is the ExoSister spell card. This card will protect them from not being targeted, and also when your opponent activates a card effect or when you attack, the effect of Carpendive will activate to blow a spell or trap card your opponent controls. We're gonna be running 1 Designator. We're gonna be running triple copy of packs, ExoSister packs. So this card, what it does is you can pay 800 life points to add one of the ExoSisters. So normally with this card, I will go for ExoSister Martha, or I will go for Estella if I have, let's say, Irene or Sophia or even Alice in my hand. I can add Estella or Martha, so I can use them to XYZs. This one for the normal summon, and this one for the Stella for the normal summon, and Martha for the special summon. And you gotta run 3 of the packs. It's a must here. We're gonna be running 2 Arment, triple Evenly Match, triple Impermanence, and 2 ExoSister betas. So what this card does is during your opponent's turn or even your turn, you can activate this card and you will be able to special summon 2 ExoSisters from your deck. And if you have ExoSister armament, you can as a quick effect, as a quick play, you can exceed using the ExoSisters you have on the field. You can go for Michalis, you can go for any ExoSister except for Magnifica. For Magnifica, you're gonna need 2 Xyz monsters to special summon Magnifica. So we're gonna continue with the extra deck now. 1 Evil Swan Extinction, 1 Babushka, 1 Laplacian, the Primometh. This is the main XC boss of the deck, the Michalis, 3 copies. She has the ability when unsummoned, she will be able to detach 1 XC's material, so you can add any ExoSister spells and trap, and that includes these 3 cards right here that I'm pointing at. You're gonna be running 3 Capiter, so she has the ability when unsummoned, detach 1 X material, so you can add 1 ExoSister, so you can add any other ExoSisters. So you always have a follow-up if you go first or you go second. We're gonna be running 1 copy of Guybrin, 2 copies of Sophia, 2 copies of Magnifica, and 1 Zeus. So the Gabriela is here to increase your ExoSisters monster and also negate a monster's effect on summon. And the Sophia, she's here to when unsummoned, neither player can activate cards effect in their graveyard. And as the second effect, you can detach one material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls and return it back to the hand. So they're here to give you an extra offense. Though also Michalis, on top of adding you a spell and trap card from the ExoSister engine, she also has the ability of targeting 1 card on the field and banish it for no cost. And I believe Guest Beater has the same effect. She states that if this card is received with an ExoSister, another player can special summon monster from the graveyard. Okay, so on summon, your opponent, either you or your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the graveyard. That's a pretty cool effect. That's one of the reasons I do want to run 3 copies of her, because you can stop. Let's say you're playing against one of the famous deck, the Snake Eyes. Like I always mention, Snake Eyes use a lot of graveyard summoning. You can stop that with Cuspider. And well, this is it, guys. This is my XC, my ExoSister deck profile. And like I said, guys, this deck focuses on field control and also interrupting your opponent. Like for example, let's say you set up your field for your first. Let's go. You go first, right? You let's say you have Marta and others a sister. You can go. You can set up the field with Caspiter, Michalis, and once you add your let's say with Michalis you add your betas, and with Caspiter you add, let's say, Marta for a follow-up for the next turn when it's your turn. But once, let's say you open with betas in your hand, you can add with Michalis, you can add the armament, And once you have these two, and you have these two, you have Caspiter and Mekalis on the field. This is a good defense right here, because you can set these two, and during your opponent's turn you can interrupt your opponent while XC summoning. You can, let's say you can special summon one ExoSister, and with this you can XC into another Mekalis, so you can banish and summon, or stop your opponent from special summoning with Caspiter. And let's say you have these two on the field, you can XC with this spell card for Magnifica, and she also has the ability of, as a quick effect, detaching one material to banish one card from that your opponent controls. And also she has another effect that when your opponent activates a card or effect as a quick effect, you can return one XC monster attached to this card, and return it back into the extra deck, and then on top of that you can XC's the same card that you picked from the material that the Magnifica has. So you can go with Mekalis and XC's for her, and you can continue the interruption by banishing your opponent's field cards that has on the field, or stopping them from special summoning from the graveyard. Or you can also return it with a Sophia, or negate its effect with Gibrin. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you some gameplays that I recorded playing with this deck, and well, let's see how we do. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you some gameplays that I did with the deck profile, and I made 3, and let's start with the first one. So we're gonna be playing against a Unchained Twins deck, and it's a pretty cool deck, as you guys see right here. If you can recognize the card, you can copy, and maybe if you like it, you can make a deck profile out of it. Anyways guys, let's start the play. So in this gameplay, I believe my opponent is gonna start first. Alright, yeah, he's gonna start first, and I'm going to activate Shifter, and my opponent starts. He blows his prison. I Ash. He's gonna summon Shabara by blowing up the Rikia. So he's gonna exceed into link into the Yama, but he has no monster on the graveyard. All of them are banished, and I imperm his Yama. He goes and pops the Yama to special summon the Unchained Twin Zura. Now it's my turn, and I don't have a good hand neither, but I do have defense here because I can Xyz. He goes for the Maxis, but we're still gonna go for game here. And I summon Mekalis. So that's a good interruption there. I banish it. I didn't want him to, blow up his trap cards and, start his combos. So I did a pretty quick interruption there. So with Mekalis, I added the Kalpendiven, the spell card, to protect them, and I made a small mistake here. I activated the second effect of the packs to special summon. I should have waited and special summon Martha to activate her effect and special summon another sister. But I still go for Xyz here anyways. And I special summon the Caspiter. I believe I add another Martha. if I can recall well. Yeah, so I believe I go for another. Yeah, I go another Marta to start the next round when my opponent gives me the turn, and then I go for Zeus for extra defense. My opponent banishes the Marta, and I believe somewhere here he gave up. Oh, he maxes. He thought that I would go for, combos and stuff so he can add cards. I didn't want him to add cards. I just wanted to win. And I go for game. Alright, guys. Let's go with the second replay. So, in this replay, we were playing again. I was playing against the Scareclaw. The deck profile is right here. If you recognize the cards, guys, go ahead and copy on it. It's a pretty cool deck. You can do some crazy combos. You can go for Baron here and Sorcerer, Dispatter. But you're gonna see this awesome gameplay here. I completely wreck him on second turn. And let me show you. It's pretty cool. So my opponent goes first. The power of hand traps. Oh man, I drew Shifter and 2 imperms. So this is cool. This happens here. I imperm his Rayshard. I Shifter and then maxes. And he quits. Oh man. The power of hand traps, man. Listen, with this deck you can even win with hand traps. It's crazy. Okay, guys, and the next one is a like Sorcerer. Oh yeah, against the Sorcerer. So this guy has a different Sorcerer deck that is a little bit different than mine's. I see a couple of mistakes here. I would never recommend anybody to run 2 copies of Talent. Like I will only run 1 and 1 copy of the Trust. I think it's a better combo than having 2 talents. Either way, I don't use much these cards on my decks because, well, now the time your opponent is gonna be using Monsters Effect, and you don't want that. You always want to use these cards when your opponent activates Monsters Effect. But unfortunately, sometimes your opponent doesn't, and you're stuck with these cards, and you can't do anything during your turn. So in other decks, I don't recommend to run these cards, not all of them. And this Sorcerer is a pretty cool deck. Like I will take this card out and just run 1 Grave and the Designator, or just 1 Designator. In all the decks that I have. Play against, they always do this. They run 3 copies. I know they want to stop the maxis and stuff, but sometimes you draw these cards and you have nothing to go against your opponent because you just drew these cards, and maybe your opponent already activated maxi or in the last turn. I don't recommend to run too many. I'll say like maybe 1 Kobai and Designator, or maybe just Designator. Alright, guys, so let me show you the gameplay. This one is a pretty cool one, and I have a back and forth match. And I go second, and I activate Shifter, and then I go maxis. So my opponent is gonna Designator the maxis, but I already activated Shifter, so all the monsters he goes will go for the Banished Song, and he goes for Baron here. You see, this is one of the reasons why I don't like to run too many of the designator and the call by. As you can see here, he had no combos. The only combo he had was the Ashura and I believe the Ghost Bell to go for Baron. So I go with Michaelis and I banish his I add the packs and I banish the Baron. I add a Martha, and you see I already have a follow-up for the next turn and defense for the Zeus. So it's my opponent's turn now. He trusts, and you know, I if I wanted to, I wouldn't activated it, but I still did, just to bother, you know. Maybe speed up the deck a little bit, you know. I don't want draw. I don't want to draw the drawer, so you know. And my opponent scoops out here. Yeah. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know if we can make this ExoSister deck profile deck much powerful, even better. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.